afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell. I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and we are syndicated worldwide on Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Again, thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. You can also find us on our podcast, and that's netnewsnetwork.net, netnewsnetwork.net. All kinds of great talk show hosts are on there as well. So we appreciate all those opportunities, and we look forward to giving information to you every single day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central. And again, thank you so much for watching. Can't say that enough. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about heat exhaustion. Okay, we are about to finally get into the summertime, and the only thing about hot, humid summertime weather in Alabama is there are peak periods of times you should not be outside working in the yard, okay, or doing anything, not even sitting in the shade sipping iced tea. You can get heat exhaustion as well from laying out in the sun, although I beg you not to do that. It's horrible for your skin. Okay, you need some sun, but don't lay out and get a tan. Okay, it's just terrible for your skin. Okay, and also health reasons, you could get skin cancer. And your skin is actually the biggest organ of the whole body. So be careful out there. Okay, heat exhaustion. So what is heat exhaustion? And hear people getting it, and the people can actually fall down from heat exhaustion. You could break a hip, arm, leg, whatever. So let's talk about that for a few minutes. I don't want this to happen to you. Okay, heat exhaustion is a heat-related illness that can occur once after you've been exposed to high temperatures, and it's also often accompanied by dehydration. And by the way, you can find this on a very good, loyal website, webmd.com. That's webmd.com. So make sure you check it out, okay? A few things you might want to take notes of. There are two types of heat exhaustion. One is water depletion, so this is going to kind of balance this out so you can understand why and how it happens. Now, signs of water depletion could be include excessive thirst, weakness, headache, and maybe loss of consciousness. Okay, salt depletion, signs include nausea, vomiting, muscle cramps, and dizziness. Although heat exhaustion isn't as serious as heat stroke, it isn't something to be taken lightly. So without proper intervention, heat exhaustion can progress to a heat stroke, which can damage the brain and other vital organs, and it could even cause death. And that's why we're talking about this. I don't want anything happening to you, okay? You're the apple of my eye. Symptoms of heat exhaustion. Now, the most common signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion includes confusion, dark colored urine. Now, that's a sign of dehydration. Dizziness, fainting, fatigue, headache, muscle or abdominal cramps, nausea, vomiting or diarrhea, pale skin. Who could know with mine because I'm so pale all the time. Profuse sweating, and rapid heartbeat. Now let's talk about the treatment of heat exhaustion. If you or anyone else has symptoms of heat exhaustion, it's essential or immediately get out of the heat and rest, preferably in an air-conditioned room. Now, if you can't get inside, try to find the nearest cool and shady place. Okay, shade is going to be your best friend. Other strategies include drinking plenty of fluids. Always have a bottle with you anyway. You can find these little cups, they're easily accessible and like less than $1 at the Dollar Tree, which is one of our sponsors, by the way. Well, it's $1.25 now, but anyway, you can find those with the caps on them. Just keep them cleaned every day. I like to wash them out every couple of days if I'm using it heavily outside, with a little bit of vinegar. Just white, cheap distilled vinegar will do it. And then rinse it out real good. Just make sure you do that. Drink plenty of fluids, especially sports drinks, to replace the lost salt. Avoid caffeine or alcohol. The hard thing to me is to avoid the caffeine because I wake up I'm dying for coffee every morning. So I can kind of keep pace with you and have our shows ready. And so this is what a friend of mine told me. And she is an esthetician. And she said, you drink a lot of coffee. She said, every time I see you, you've got a cup in your hand. And I said, so what's wrong with that? And she said, you're messing up your skin when you do that. and you're causing dehydration really easy. And she said, for every cup of coffee I'm drinking, I'm going to have to drink 5 cups of water just to replace all of the fluid I'm losing from my body. So, you know, I don't drink as much coffee as I used to. Used to drink about a pot all by myself. So now I'm drinking less because of that one thing she told me. Again, for every cup of coffee you're drinking, you're losing 5. You got to drink 5 cups of water just to replace that. That's a lot of water. You need to be drinking a lot of water anyway. But anyway, that's the tip on that. Okay, let's see. Remove any tight or unnecessary clothing. You know, a lot of times when you go out to work out in the yard, some people wear a lot of clothes, even though it's hot outside, just to keep the sun off of their skin. If you'll just wear a hat, that helps a lot. I love to wear my hats outside in the sun. Remove any tight or unnecessary clothing. Take a cool shower, bath, or at least a sponge bath. That'll help out as well. Apply other cooling measures such as fans or ice towels. You know, you can find these little things at Amazon.com. You can find them. And it's kind of like a little pillow-like thing, but it's thin, and it can go around the back of your neck. And it has this kind of like a gel substance in it, and you can put it in the freezer and put that around your neck, and that'll help cool you off as well. Now, also think about your cooling points, okay? And so learn this from my grandmother. And so what she would do when she'd work outside and get really, really hot, she would come in, get an ice cube, and rub it on her wrist. So that's an access point right here for you that'll cool you off. Any joint, it could be your elbow down here, the inside elbow right there, and also behind your knees, the back point at your knees, and also at the heels of your feet. That's also another place that you can cool off just with a simple ice cube. You can do that. Also, you can get maybe some peas. Peas work really well because they're really little, and maybe some frozen peas, and you can also put those around your neck, the back of your neck, and around your wrist as well, and all the other pulse points I told you about. Look at pulse points, and they'll start making a little bit of sense for you. Okay, let's see. If such measures fail to provide relief within 15 minutes, seek emergency help. 911, keep the cell phone handy, because untreated heat exhaustion can progress to heat stroke, and I don't want that to happen to you. Okay, after you've recovered from heat exhaustion, you'll probably be more sensitive to high temperatures during the following week. It just kind of follows you, okay? So it's best to avoid hot weather and heavy exercise until the doctor tells you it's safe to resume your normal activities. Make sure you listen to the doctor, okay? Risk factors for heat exhaustion. Now, heat exhaustion is strongly related to the heat index, which is a measurement of how hot you feel when the effects of relative humidity and air temperature are combined. You know, you hear your weather person talk about that all the time. A relative humidity of 60% or more hampers sweat evaporation, which hinders your body's ability to cool itself. The risk of heat-related illness dramatically increases when the heat index climbs to 90 degrees or more. So it's important, especially during heat waves, to pay attention to the reported heat index. And also to remember that the heat index is even higher when you're standing in full sunshine. Okay? Again, I want you to be, oh, by the way, you can go ahead and download a weather app on your phone and have it set to alerts. Now, let me tell you about the weather apps, okay? If you're not really careful, it's going to send you like weather alerts like every few seconds. Make sure that it's to your area only. Otherwise, you're going to get weather alerts from all over the country. You don't want that. So go ahead and have it set to your zip code, or wherever you may be. When you're on vacation, if you're going somewhere exotic, well, then you might want to know about the weather conditions there as well. But make sure you have it set to your immediate location. And what it'll do is, if it's getting super hot outside, it'll remind you about the humidity. If it's, getting higher humidity, so it'll just kind of alert you and let you know that you might want to come back inside and rest up just a little bit. Working out in the garden will wait. And as a matter of fact, I like to do my gardening either in the late afternoon when I finish recording the shows, or early in the morning. So either one of those times is really good. Try not to do it in the heat of the day. I mean, that's just a terrible time around lunchtime, unless you're going to be working in the shade, but very little gardening is done in the shade. It's mostly out there right in the direct sunlight. Okay, let's go on ahead and cut to a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. I'm going to be talking with you about other risk factors associated with heat-related illness. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. See you hanging there. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Right. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, Channel 182 Uncharted Communications, as well as Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You know, that's syndicated. Check out the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. netnewsnetwork.net. It's got 3 nets in it, so make sure you check that out. There's some awesome talk show hosts on this website or on this podcast as well, so make sure you do check it out. Okay, now we're going to talk about other risk factors that are associated with heat stroke. So let's talk about those. Age can have a lot to do with it. So I'm talking about infants and children up to age 4. And adults over age 65 are particularly vulnerable because they adjust to heat more slowly than other people. So let me tell you what happened a long time ago. Grew up in Cheehaw Acres number 2 in Oxford, Alabama, and we lived in a subdivision out there, and brick house, carport, all that kind of stuff. So I remember when this happened, I had to have been about 4 or 5 years old. And so I've been playing outside all day long. I always loved to play in the sunshine. It was hot. It was in the summertime. And it was, can I say hot again? It was hot. I definitely remember this. So I remember running, just, you know how kids will do, just run all over the place. Just run for no reason, run. So I actually wanted to come inside and get some water. So I ran inside and I remember opening up the door and I passed out. It was from heat exhaustion. Again, really young kids. And then if you're over 65, make sure you watch those kiddos, okay? Because they don't have a stopping point at all. I know I didn't. Maybe yours do. Okay, so age, again, that's infants and children up to age 4. in adults over age 65 because they are particularly vulnerable because they adjust to heat more slowly than other people do. Okay, now let's talk about this one. Certain health conditions. These include heart, lung, or kidney disease, obesity or underweight, high blood pressure, diabetes, mental illness, sickle cell trait, alcoholism, sunburn, and any conditions that cause fever. Now, people with diabetes, let's talk about this for a second. They are at an increased risk of emergency room visits, hospitalization, and death from heat-related illness and may be especially likely to underestimate their risk during heat waves, okay? Now, let's talk about medications. Again, we're talking about other risk factors that are associated with heat stroke. Medications. These include some medicines in the following classes: diuretics, sedatives, tranquilizers, stimulants, heart and blood pressure medications, and medications for psychiatric conditions. Now, check with your doctor to see if your health conditions and medications are likely to affect your ability to cope with extreme heat and humidity. Okay, we had some cold weather, which did affect our outside life when we were, a lot of folks lost some of their trees and things like that during that one. I think it was like, what was it, Christmas Eve? Down here in the South, we had this huge freeze. I mean, it was just really crazy. We go from one extreme to the other here in Alabama and then the South. I mean, you know that. We can have all 4 seasons in one day. It's happened before. We've had like 80-degree weather and then the next day, snow. It just happens and go from one extreme to the other. So make sure you really stay alert about the weather conditions for one thing. Don't think because you had cold weather one day, you couldn't have a heat stroke the next day. Okay, preventing heat exhaustion. Let's talk about that. Okay, so when the heat index is high, it's best to stay inside in air conditioning. If you must go outdoors, you can prevent heat exhaustion by taking these steps. If you just started listening or watching, make sure you check out WebMD.com. WebMD.com. Now, if you got to go outside, let's do these things, okay? First of all, wear lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothing and a wide-brimmed hat. That'll help immensely, okay? And you can also find hats that if you want to buy a used one, you don't want to spend a whole lot of money for it, you can go to the thrift shops, and Shepherd's Cove Thrift Shop is my source. I found this really great. It was a wide-brimmed hat that I wear outside all the time. In fact, a video just a few days ago, you'll see that one. And I had my wide-brimmed hat on when I was working outside. Okay, use sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or more. Make sure you drink extra fluids. Always take water, preferably water, outside with you. And again, avoid caffeine. Your colas are going to have caffeine in them, okay? Dr. Pepper is not good for out, and I love Dr. Pepper, but not when I'm outside. Okay, to prevent dehydration, drink plenty of water, fruit juice, or vegetable juice every day. Good old tomato juice is good for you. Because heat-related illness can also result in salt, you're not going to have enough salt in your body, it may be advisable to substitute an electrolyte-rich sports drink for water during periods of extreme heat and humidity. Make sure you ask your doctor about the best types of fluid and how much you should be drinking. I have found these little packets, which should be something kind of like a Gatorade packet. You can also get the store brand packets. You can find those on Amazon.com, any kind of a store brand. If you're looking at saving money, because they can get kind of expensive if you can't catch them on sale. And then also when the pandemic hit, and even now, sometimes we're not finding the products we need in the grocery stores. You can find those little packets and buy those up and keep those handy, okay? And then when you go outside, make sure you use those. And again, they're going to help you not to dehydrate, okay? All right, now a general recommendation of those doing moderate to high intensity exercise is to drink 7 to 20 ounces of fluid 2 to 3 hours before exercise, and consider adding another 8 ounces of water or sports drink right before you exercise. A lot of folks like lift weights, and they may have those in the garage where there's actually no air stirring. You want to open up that garage door, okay, so you can get some air coming into you when you're working out. Now, During exercise, you should consume about 7 to 10 ounces of water about every 20 minutes, even if you don't feel thirsty. Also drink another 8 ounces within a half hour after exercise. Take additional precautions when exercising or working outdoors. Okay, now avoid fluids containing either caffeine or alcohol because both substances can make you lose more fluids and worsen that heat exhaustion. You know, we talked about that a little bit earlier. About if you drink 1 cup of coffee, you got to drink 5 cups of water to make up for that, okay? If you have epilepsy or severe heart, kidney, or liver disease, and you are on a fluid-restricted diet, or if you have a problem with fluid retention, make sure you check with your doctor before increasing your liquid intake. Okay, let's talk for just a few minutes. I think we've got time about heat stroke symptoms. What are the symptoms of it? So let's go ahead and look that up, okay? And again, you can find these answers right here on webmd.com. Okay, let's see. Heat stroke symptoms. First of all, I think I've probably come close to it. I just haven't had it because I've been one of those dummies who's worked outside in the heat at lunch hour. It's a dumb time. Don't do it then. Okay. All right. Now, heat stroke is a type of a heart problem, and it's been described as the most serious form of heat injury because it does require immediate medical attention. Failure to get immediate medical attention can cause serious heart complications or death. A higher percentage of patients who are aged 50 and above, but young athletes are also at risk. Damage to the brain, heart, or other organs are some of the health complications caused by heat stroke. It also occurs in progression from less serious heat-related illnesses such as heat cramps, heat exhaustion, or heat syncope, which you may not experience any symptoms before you actually have that heat stroke. This condition occurs as a result of a combination of dehydration and exposure to high temperatures. Dehydration causes the body's temperature control system to fail, and too much sun exposure can worsen it. This is on another website I like to go to. It's called entirelyhealth.com. Entirelyhealth.com. Heat stroke occurs when the body temperature is up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit or more, and it must be treated as a medical emergency and usually takes between 1 to 3 days in a hospital admission. So if you don't like to go to the hospital, make sure you think about that, put that into your plans, okay, on what not to do so you don't have to spend time in the hospital. Okay, it may take longer if there are health complications like organ damage. Now, in this case, treatment, it may take several months or maybe even up to a year. Partial or complete recovery is possible after experiencing a health stroke. There are some common signs to a health stroke if you are experiencing one. So, altered mental state or behavior. Let's talk about that. Some patients experience mental disorders during a heat stroke, including confusion, agitation, slurred speech, irritability, and delirium. You may also find it hard to compose your thoughts or to even make sensible sentences while you're into that, okay? All right, we're going to have to call it a day. We're going to catch up on more heat exhaustion and heat strokes in another episode of The Edge. Again, thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio. We are your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thanks for sending your emails. Definitely appreciate that. My email address is donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. We appreciate that. And any episodes you would like me to kind of expand on just a little bit, maybe give them a few more details, I'll be glad to take those because you're the boss. You know, you tell me what to actually air here on the show, and we appreciate that. Check out the podcast, by the way, netnewsnetwork.net, netnewsnetwork.net. We appreciate you checking that out as well. Again, thank you so much for watching it, Apple of My Eye, and I want you to be really careful outside. We're going to have some heat coming up pretty soon. So you take care of yourself, okay? See you later.